What's poppin', y'all? One thing I love about Tyler, the Creator, is he's not going to hold back his opinion. Recently, as of late last year, he went in on Ian, and he didn't directly mention his name, but I disagreed with the take that he had on Ian, in particular Ian. He could have gone in on somebody else, and I would understand it, but it came off very old head-ish, and Tyler, the Creator, is a veteran in the game. The guy's 34 years old right now, and while I wouldn't consider that old, when you've gone into the game at 17, 18, 19, 15 plus years, yeah, you're a veteran. And recently he gave his perspective on touring, which I'm going to play for you guys right now.
Touring now at 34 is not as fun as it was at 20. I'm mentally drained. I'm physically okay. I am on stage for 90 minutes alone, nonstop movement, but I'm pretty much in shape, so I'm fine. But man, the mental toll it takes on you, the unfamiliarity, a different bed every night. After a while, it gets a bit stressful, and my temperament is Los Angeles, so wide streets, low buildings. You see the sky all the time. A lot of places out here in Europe is it feels claustrophobic. It's people on the street all the time. It's a lot, and it feels heavy. I can't go anywhere without a bunch of security with me, so the stress that I have on my body, because I just cannot get solitude, is a lot. What makes up for it is that these shows are incredible.
So hearing that, it's like, damn, that guy really does not like touring. And here's a little secret. No artist does. So first, let's get a perspective from Tyler, the Creator, and his profile and why he wouldn't like touring, and talk about all of these other artists. So Tyler, the Creator, he doesn't really need to tour. And keep in mind, Tyler, the Creator is a genuine performer, art director, and curator. So in the lead up to the tour, Tyler, the Creator, he's working with people on how he wants the stage set. He's working on his performance. He's working on the different outfits. He's really dialed into all of these things. It's not like Rod Wave, for instance, who's just coming out there and singing. And this isn't to denigrate Rod Wave whatsoever. He's still putting in a lot of work. It's just that the planning, for Rod Wave, is usually handled by his team, and then he just shows up and does his job, which is all he needs to do. But when you're an artist like Tyler, the Creator, or even Ye, Kanye West, those types of artists, they're really hands in the trenches, working to make sure everything is designed to the T, how they want it to look, because it's part of the whole rollout for the album. There's the album, there's the storyline, there's the merch, everything comes together in one piece of art. And that's why people love Tyler, the Creator as well. Not only that, Tyler, the Creator is also creating a crazy performance. The guy's rapping over his vocals like most rappers do not, and he's moving around, he's jumping around, so it's physically taxing. Granted, he said he's in great shape, and the guy's got some nasty genetics, and I mean nasty in a positive, good way. You guys remember how high the dude could jump? He was very, very physically fit at a young age and was genetically gifted for sports. I mean, he was a great skateboarder as well, but he's managed to keep up that shape. That's the thing. A lot of artists are great at 18, 19, but they get into all these drugs, they get into all this trash food, they don't work out, they don't stay fit, and by the time they're 23, they've fallen off, let alone 34. They look unrecognizable. Tyler, the Creator, I'm pretty sure, I'm not certain, but I think he avoids all type of drugs and drinking. I could be wrong, though. I know Vince Staples does, but I don't know if Vince Staples sips now here and there. Either way. And then there's Tyler, the Creator's personality. Tyler, the Creator does not like to be mobbed. There are very few times you see a selfie that Tyler, the Creator takes with a fan. He's one of those rappers that's like, yo, don't take photos with me. Like, if you want to say what's up, you can chop it up with me, but you're not at a zoo, and I'm not this zoo animal for you to just take pictures of and run off. I'm a human being. And I like the fact that he has that boundary. Some people have called him an a-hole for it, and I understand their perspective, because for every fan, that is the one, there's only one Tyler, the Creator for you, and that is probably the only time you're ever going to encounter him. So you probably wish you could get a moment that you can savor forever and take a picture of. And no matter what people say, you can have a conversation with him and you may be able to remember it, but things just get hazy over time. And a photo or a video, it lasts forever. So I'm kind of on the fence with that one. But for Tyler, the Creator, there are millions of you. So if he were to stop, it would set the guy back who knows how far. And he just is one of the few artists that's like, yo, this is my boundary. And I respect that because a lot of artists are scared. Especially pop stars, they need to appease fans a lot, or they have that pressure to appease fans, but he doesn't. Even rappers, usually rappers, and a lot of rappers, they like being lit. So every time someone comes up to them, they feel like, okay, this is good. I'm glad people come up to me. Versus Tyler, the Creator, the guy's always been really, really confident. I don't know if it's naturally, but even when you look at his old forum posts on Hypebeast, the guy believed like, yo, I'm him. I'm going to be him at such a young age. One of the things that he said, though, that I found quite surprising was that he liked LA more than Europe. And I understand his explanation. So when you go to Europe, and now people will say, oh, we've got some Europeans that are like, bro, Europe is really big. Yeah, it is. However, the way that the cities are set up, they're genuine cities. They're walkable. You see so much in just a 10-minute walk versus a 10-minute walk in LA, you're not seeing anything. You probably just went down the block, maybe a gas station, maybe a Wendy's. But Tyler, the Creator, he likes that space. And I think he's maybe finds it a little bit more low-key in LA, like these smaller buildings, although there aren't like skyscrapers really like that throughout Europe for the most part. But it makes sense because he doesn't want to feel claustrophobic, and having to walk around with security is miserable. I cannot imagine. Like, you just want to go down to the store. You're like, hey, we're in the Czech Republic, and let's go. I want to go check out this monument. Okay, we got to get you security. We got to make sure that this person's with you. Okay, we got to coordinate that. We got to get you a car. And you're just like, man, screw it. I don't even want to go anymore. That just sucks. That is the price of fame, though, but a lot of artists, they got on and they wanted to get on because of their art, and the fame was just a byproduct of it. They didn't want to sell out their whole life or ability to be able to go places and not be noticed. So that's another thing where Tyler, the Creator, is clearly really, really bothered by that. Some artists are more diva-like, and I don't say this in a negative way or pejorative, but a lot of artists like everything being handled for them. They just want to chill and smoke weed and have food delivered to them and everything brought to them, and they're not really concerned with looking at monuments and walking around and checking out the city on their own, and they're not adventurous like that. It's just different personality traits. Tyler, the Creator, is. The guy was just skateboarding around LA as a teenager, getting into shenanigans and hijinks like Scooby-Doo and Friends. A lot of artists complain about the same thing too, and this is why fans, I don't think they realize how difficult it is to tour and how taxing it is on the mind and the body, because there is this high expectation of you every night to put on an identical performance. So you can't suck one night and then be great the next night, because that night that you sucked, that was the only opportunity. People paid a lot of money to go see you. They took time out of their day to see you, and that was probably the only time maybe in their life that they could afford to go see you, or they were not going to see you for another couple of years. And touring takes months of moving around. Like, for example, the way I can best compare this to an average person's life is, have you ever gone to 3 cities in less than 10 days? You're packing, you get to the hotel, you're unpacking, you're taking a train, a bus, maybe a plane, you're unpacking again, and then you're packing, and it's just, after a week to 10 days, you're burnt, you're cooked. And this is without anybody coming up to you. This is without the rate of interaction and people around you that you have to interact with, because Tyler, the Creator's got to interact with not only his team and the people around him, but also fans on a regular basis. And this is without you having to actually perform, which is physically draining, like for hours per night. You're maybe just walking around exploring and maybe getting a quick workout in, if that. And that's taxing. Now imagine doing that for months, maybe 2 straight months, different city every other night. It's astonishing that they're able to do that. It's really a physical feat that we really need to applaud a lot more than we do. And then you've got artists like Ed Sheeran or Justin Bieber Purpose Tour, where that guy was on tour for a year and a half straight. I don't know how he did that. Maybe that's what caused him to go off the rails. Although after Purpose, he was doing well. And you haven't seen Justin Bieber tour for, I think his tour got canceled, but a lot of artists, they only tour when they need a bag. Take into consideration 21 Savage. 21 Savage, he had a lucrative deal where he didn't need to tour. I think it was a joint venture with Epic Records, because he was already really lit and he didn't want to tour. And he didn't tour for many, many, many years. And then he eventually did a tour with Drake. But that opportunity is so big. Or he also opened up for J. Cole. But those opportunities are so big, he's like, screw it, I'm going to do it. And I don't know if there was an I Am Greater Than I Was tour. I feel like in my head, the flyer for it just spawned. But I don't know if it existed or if I'm imagining it. Either way, 21 Savage is not known for touring frequently. And keep in mind, a lot of people say, well, man, there's artists that tour every 4 times a week, like Dirk and a lot of these street rappers. That's very different. Also, another example of somebody that doesn't really tour that frequently either and doesn't need to is Russ. Like, Russ is making a bag off of his music, and he did tour a lot on the come up, and he built that base. But he chilled out for a while, and for his last album, I think it was, he even canceled a tour. I don't know if it was because he got sick or he had mental issues, but it was probably due to him saying man, I don't need to do this. Screw this. And mental issues on top of that, because I do feel like Russ has this character where I wouldn't say he feels indebted to his fans, but he wouldn't want to let them down announcing a tour and then canceling it. He just wouldn't announce it in the first place. And he's set to go on tour again with Big Sean opening up for him in the near future. I don't know if he's going to do a Europe leg, because it was the Europe leg that he canceled 2 years ago, whenever the last tour was. So those are 2 examples. The difference with a lot of street rappers, they be doing walkthroughs. I'll be feeling like the man when I walk through. Shout out Rich Homie Quan, man. Great music. But these artists, what they do is they show up to a club and they use the artist on the flyer, and they pull up, maybe do 2-3 songs. They're just there to show up. It's an appearance more than it is a performance. So those aren't as taxing. Now, there is the travel expenses, moving around, and that does get a little bit tiring. But to pick up a quick bag, that's different from doing a full set. And these guys, they're just not mumbling, but they're just rapping over the backtrack, and that's completely different from doing your own tour. And we saw when Ye was doing that St. Pablo tour, we haven't seen Ye do a tour since St. Pablo. Now, granted, a lot of things have happened since then. There was the jabbing incident, the worldwide pandemic, and then after that, we don't even really know what touring company, like Live Nation clearly does not mess with Ye, so we don't know how that would be set up. It would be logistically difficult. He did do shows here and there, like for instance, he did that show in Haikou, China. That was a big deal, and he was supposed to do a show in South Korea, but that ended up getting canceled. That was supposed to be at the end of May. But Ye, we saw him break down, mentally and probably physically as well. He had to get rushed to the hospital, UCLA hospital. Michael Jackson, he also talked about how much he hated touring. I'm going to see if I can find the clip and play it for you guys right here.
Time zones are different. You can't sleep after the show. Adrenaline is up here.
Well, can we just do it again without the negative, saying that you don't like the tour?
I don't like it though.
I know, but see,
I go through
what
hell.
Is it setting up though? I don't know.
I go through hell touring. Okay, then I'll make it positive then.
Yeah, it's just.
Well, you know the truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And action, Michael.
I love to tour.
But a lot of artists, they didn't come into the game as performers. They just had to perform because it made them a lot more money. It built up their fan base. A lot of artists, they just want to chill and make music. And that's not enough. Like they said, a lot of the income for an artist comes from shows. Now, merchandise is another, but shows pay way more than merchandise, especially when a lot of artists are selling merchandise now. It's not like it was years ago, or decades ago, I should say. So I like the fact that Tyler, the Creator, is being honest here. It doesn't come across as complaining either, because he even says the positive aspect of it towards the end, where he's like, yo, these shows are effing lit. And there's also touring when you first get in the game versus touring 15 years in. Hey, what's a novel experience to Tyler, the Creator? Okay, I'm doing a bigger show in a cooler place. For example, Madison Square Garden, the first time he did that, I know he was ecstatic. He was like, man, I'm about to check something off my bucket list, for lack of a better term. And then once you do it, it's like, oh, I'm doing Madison Square Garden again for another couple of nights. Versus the first time you tour, everything is new. New city, new people, new fans, new interaction, new opportunity to get better at performing. But once you've done it for 15 years, you've kind of perfected it. And there's always room to get better, but there's nothing novel. And every time you tour, it's harder. Probably back then when he was first touring with his homies, now he's doing it by himself. He gets out, they explore the city, and they weren't so famous that they would get mobbed everywhere. Although at that point, kids were mobbing OF or Odd Future. Damn, it's crazy that OF, now I have to clarify that it's Odd Future and not the other company. But a lot of artists feel this way. And this is why, like, when you buy tickets to a show, like, man, show some appreciation and a level of empathy if you get a good show, of course. Like, if the show is trash and it's known to be trash, like, man, get the hell out of here with that. But a lot of appreciation needs to be shown for these artists that are, like Kendrick Lamar right now and SZA, this tour that they're going on, it's magnificent. Now, I didn't go to a show, unfortunately. Why? I don't really know. But these guys are putting on a show every single night. And on top of that, the team that's making sure everything goes smoothly. Now, we don't know the team members' names, but those people contribute a lot to make sure that this is great. And for them to put on a show every single day, every single night that wows people, everyone that's gone to the show loved it. I take some time to appreciate that because it takes a lot from the artist to do that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'm going to see you on the next one.